What's going on, all you outdoor enthusiasts? This is Hunter with H&H Awakening Podcast. Just to let you know that this episode was recorded probably about 6 episodes ago, and we just never got a chance to upload it. So if you hear any of the newer episodes kind of pop up, including EDC carries and what we carry for EDC, just know that this was recorded prior to that. And anytime we say episode 15, we're meaning episode 20. That's just how long ago that this episode was recorded. And we're just now getting around to actually uploading it. So please enjoy.
What's going on, all you outdoor enthusiasts? Welcome back to another episode. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Hunter.
And this is the H&H Awakening Podcast. As you may know by now, or if you're new to the show, this is your number one podcast for all things outdoors. Whether it's hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, shooting guns, golf, whatever you want to do to get outdoors, this is it. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, follow, rate the show, whatever you can to show support if you like what you're hearing. If not, leave us a comment down below and let us know why you don't like it. You know, whatever, we'll take it. But
be careful though, Hunter's sensitive.
Yeah, I might cry a little bit. But as always, this episode is number 15, and this is going to be over shit hits the fan, SHTF scenarios or setups, you know. And I want to put this out there. We've said it before, we are not experts. We are not.
This is just what we have.
This is what we have. It may be completely wrong. That's why we're all here. We're here to learn. This is just what we have in place for if shit hits the fan. And of course, we're younger, so we're still building our kit and learning and everything. But yeah, basically, this is going to be everything between food all the way to what we're using to protect our lives if shit hits the fan, or just emergency situations. Not even, it doesn't have to be some full fallout situation, just emergency situations, what we have in place, just kind of give you guys some ideas. So we talked last episode about backpacks and everything, and we slightly discussed what our emergency bags are. So if you want to go into that go back and listen to that episode, but we'll kind of go back into a little more. Starting out, and this is slightly an EDC dump. We want to do an detailed EDC episode in the future. But as far as what goes into my shit hits in the fan, starting out with EDC, or not EDC, but just the number one handgun that I trust my life with. I don't conceal carry this one. I have another one that I conceal carry with, which is the SIG P365 Coyote Brown. That's the one I conceal carry just because it's smaller. So for different situations every day, it's just a lot easier to maneuver.
Easy to conceal.
Well, the easiness of conceal all depends on
your holster,
what you wear, how you're built, and everything. Because different people can conceal different things. Because I can conceal a Glock 19 IWB up front. It's just all day, every day. I prefer the SIG because it's a little smaller, lighter weight. Now, if I'm going somewhere out of town, I usually take something a little bigger that just I feel a lot more confident with. But anyways, going into what I choose to keep in the truck or near me every day for, that crazy emergency situation, it's going to be the CZ P10C. And
it's mine
what's
too.
Crazy is Hunter has that same one. So for those of you that haven't heard of it, this is what Glock 19 should have been. For those that you have heard of it, it's the Glock 19 killer, as you may know. I think, in my opinion. Not saying. I know there's Glock fanboys out there right now that are
probably screaming at us. You're fucking wrong. You're wrong. Even the 320 fanboys too. Don't get me started on the 320.
Just to clarify, there it is clear. That's part of gun safety is if you're going to be at home cleaning, practicing with your gun, whatever. If you're going to be handling a firearm at home, make sure you store your ammo, away from the firearm so some accident doesn't happen. But yeah, this is the CZ P10C. I like this one this is the one I trust my life with out of all my handguns. I'm more of a handgun guy, as you'll learn over and over with the podcast. So I'm building my collection up. But no, what I like about the CZ is it's got the front serrations up front. I don't really use the front serrations as much as like the guys that buy pistols for them do.
Well,
I mean, I use it for press checks.
Sometimes I don't always do for press checks. I mean, even sometimes I'll go from the back too.
So I will say on my Glock 19 that I built. Let me grab real quick to show my point. So on the Glock 19 that I built, which has slowly just kind of became more of a range gun, just because of all the things I put on it. I don't really want to trust it as my shit hits fan gun because the recoil spring, it only takes plus P ammo because I haven't bought a lighter recoil spring. But anyways, and just to double check that it's clear. Anyways, on the Glock 19, the reason I like, which this one, it's a different barrel, but if it was a regular stock one, I would like the front serrations just because grabbing back here is a little awkward with the sight. Yes, you can, use the sight to check it or whatever. But I just like for the front serrations like that. Front serrations are nice to have. I have them on almost all my pistols now.
Well, they come on just about everything now too. So like,
yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of them out there. Like most of your stock Glocks don't have front serrations unless you look for the FS edition.
Yeah.
But majority of your other pistol brands have front serrations on them. Anyways, it's got the front serrations or forward serrations, whatever you want to call them, and it's got the back serrations as every pistol has. And then it's got the night sights, which you can't really see it in the video, but really bright. I've tested them out a few times. I haven't shot in the dark yet or any scenarios. I want to go to that gun range. They do nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
They'll like cut all the lights off at the range.
Yeah. So the only thing I don't like about the night sights, they're bright.
They don't stay charged very long.
Yeah, they're not, because it's not tritium. So
yeah.
I think the only thing, so on mine I think it's an Apex trigger. I'm pretty sure it is.
Which if you're concealed carrying at night, they're not going to be charged because they're in your waistband anyways, under your shirt.
Yeah. But weapon light, you just kind of replace it.
Which, going into that, the weapon light I'm running on it is the Olight PL2 Valkyrie. I really like the light. The only thing I don't like about it is it takes CR132s or whatever they are, the little chubby batteries.
123.
Yeah, 123s. I haven't had the best battery life out of them, but the Olight I'm running is 1200 lumens, so it puts out a lot of light. As long as it's charged, it does its job. I wish I would have gone with the one that has the rechargeable bottom on it. They have a model that has the wireless rechargeableness on the bottom of them.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, as far as weapon lights go, this is the only one I have on a handgun right now. I like it. It's got, you press one, it's constant on, or you can hold it down and release it for, toggle, or not toggle, press on, whatever. Anyways, and then you click both sides for strobe, which I don't know how well it'll pick up in the video. But strobe, really bright light. I like it. Does its job. And then everything else in this CZ stock, for concealed carry, I believe, kind of leave everything stock as much as you can, just for reliability reasons. I know, like, some triggers are okay. Like the trigger you got in your CZ.
Yeah.
It's fine, but when you start going into changing like recoil springs and slides and barrels and all that, like I ran into with my Glock 19, it just becomes a reliability issue.
And the trigger in mine, it's the same stock spring and everything. Yeah. It's just a different trigger face. It's just flatter.
Yeah, it's a flatter. Yeah.
It like that's the only difference between my gun and your gun, and the flashlight, and the ammo we probably use. But
at the moment, I haven't had as far as holsters go for this pistol, I haven't had a holster made for this one yet. I have the holster I like the most out of all of mine for concealed carry or just carry at all is Tier 1 concealed. That's what I run for the Glock 19, and I love it. But I need to get one for the CZ. Right now, for the CZ, I just have just a plain old outside the waistband one that you get from Academy, just because it's so hard to find CZ holsters in a store. You got to order them online, and I just haven't taken the time to order it. But I will be going with this Tier 1 when I order one. Which CZ, the good thing about CZ P10C is if you have a Glock 19, they fit almost every Glock 19 holster.
Yeah, it's very close. Very, very close. So
yeah, they fit enough to hold it. Like, they have enough retention in it to hold it, but you can tell it's not necessarily made for it. It's just a little off the way it feels.
Yeah. And then on the actual part where the trigger is, like the right here, on most of the holsters, because the Glock's a little bit smaller right there, this part's open with the Glock 19 holsters, the back part of the trigger.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because the CZ has that more wider cut for the like gloves and everything.
Yeah.
If you're wearing gloves while shooting.
Yep.
Which is a plus of why I like the CZ. Also, I don't normally shoot with gloves. But for whatever scenario, like when I'm hunting or whatever, if it's cold and I'm wearing gloves, I don't want to take my glove off to fit my finger through the hole.
Yep.
A trigger guard. But yeah, no, that's what I as far as handgun wise, that's what I rock for shit's fan. I trust this one the most out of all my other pistols. Not saying any of my other pistols are unreliable. It's just this is the one that I feel the most confident with.
Like, I think out of mine, I know I've shot mine a lot more than you shot yours. I think I've shot probably close to 1,500 to 2,000 rounds through it at this point. And I think I've had one or two malfunctions. But that I think I'm putting that all in the ammo because it was cheap stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think the one I've put the most rounds through is my Glock and the SIG. The Glock I've put close to 3,000 rounds through. I've wore that motherfucker out. But that was also my first handgun. And then also when I got the CZ, that was right when COVID and everything was happening.
Yeah.
So that was when ammo shortage really kicked in, and I just didn't have much ammo as to waste on. Not really waste, because it's not wasting when you're practicing, but just, you know, how it was during that time. I didn't really have the ammo to just go shooting and practice with that one. But no, I like the CZ. That's the one I would recommend. And they're relatively cheap now that they're easier to find.
Yeah. And another thing, too, it's nothing against Glock, but the CZ just fits my hand better.
I mean, so when I said that the CZ was the Glock killer or what the Glock should have been, the Glock 19, I mean, it's a good firearm. I love it. I mean, I like it. It works. Everything does it should. But the CZ just has a better grip to it. I like the feel of the grip. It comes with a little more roughness to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit more stippled.
The iron sights are better.
Yep.
They come with night sights. You know, the Glock, you get the little U.
The football goalpost.
The Miami Hurricane logo.
I can't stand it. I hate that sight so much.
Yeah. You get those sights with those, so that's why I like to see it comes with better sights and then a far better trigger. Which thing with Glocks too is, you know, every Glock is different as far as how the trigger feels, just because they're pumping them out so much.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, CZ's pumping out guns too, but they take their time to perfect their trigger a little better, I feel.
Yeah, it's like every CZ that I've shot, and I've had two personally. I got rid of one, and then I've shot yours. Out of all three of them, they all feel the same, personally. Yeah. So,
and as far as size comparison, the 19 and the
they're practically the same.
Yeah, I mean, that's the CZ versus the 19, or the 19. I mean, damn near the same size. Just the grip feels a little better. But yeah, no. I mean, nothing wrong with Glocks if that's what you want to go with, but the CZ P10C, majority of the places you can get them for about $429, $449,
Upwards of
depending on them.
$5.
Yeah,
I
like well, everywhere here, I see them for like $429.
I may have to get
Like
another
I got mine at Atwood's.
Oh yeah.
That's where I finally found one because for a while, I was looking.
They used to be like
and I'd
$700, $800. They used to be really expensive.
I was at a gun show and a dude wanted like $950 for it, and I was like, dude, this gun's not worth that much. Like, yeah, it's a good gun, but I'm not paying $950 for a CZ handgun.
Yep.
But no, definitely if you can get your hands on one, I recommend them for self-defense, shooting at the range, whatever. Very, very good investment on that one. I haven't regretted buying any of my firearms that I bought, but that one right there was the one I felt the best about.
I think I've regret selling my other P10C because it had the threaded barrel and the suppressor height sights on it, which were true tritium, and if you lit them up, they would stay light for a couple hours.
Yeah, so. I accidentally hit the light, blinded the hell out of me just now. But no, yeah, love that. And then as far as ammo goes, I run the Hornady. I think they're called the Hornady self-defense. Trying to remember what grain they are. 124, I think.
Mm-hmm. Do you run plus P?
Not in this pistol, no.
Okay.
I run plus P in the 19.
Well, you kind of have to. Yeah.
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 Plus P is also a little harder to find and a little more expensive.
I run the 124 grain Federal Hydra Shocks and plus P. Dude, they got some punch to them.
The reason I run the
too, so I don't practice with them obviously, but
yeah, I've had one box of plus P for the 19 and it was right at $1 a round.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I run the Hornady self-defense ammo is because I had a few lawyers or like concealed carry advisors said that if you ever have to use your firearm for a self-defense situation, the Hornady self-defense is always the one that's the easiest to defend as far as ammo, because that's one thing they'll look at. You know, if you have to use your firearm to defend yourself, that's one thing to look at is the ammo you're running to.
Yep.
So they always say that. I guess since the Hornady box literally says self-defense on there, you know.
Yep.
Whatever legal issue, but anyways, yeah, that's the one I go with for my as far as handgun or sidearm or concealed carry. And then as you saw, Hunter runs the same thing. Right, that's all you run that's usually what you run for.
Yeah.
You'd run for your self-defense.
Yeah. I'm looking at that SIG 365. I just like the way they feel with that. I think it's the 12 round mag.
Yeah, that's what I run.
So the 15 round feels a little weird to me.
Weird.
Yeah. So or get the it's the 365
XL.
No, it's just the X, the shorter barrel, with the bigger grip. So
yeah,
that's what I've been kind of looking at. So
I've been looking at that one or the new one that came out with just now. It has like the built-in comp in the slide.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They're pretty nice too. They come with they come with the flat face trigger also because that was that was the first thing I did to my SIG, which was the only modification I've done was I put their flat face trigger.
Yeah.
And world of difference because the stock trigger I hated. It's got way too much curvature to it, and I'm a flat face guy. I feel like you hit that wall a lot faster than you do with the curved. But then as far as going on to next, what I carry for shit's fan situation, as we talked in the last one, I have my backpack, which is right here. Right now it's empty because I'm still doing everything to it, or I'm changing some stuff out because it kind of gets changed out regularly. But this is my usual shit's fan bag. I usually have I'll have some ammo in there for the 9mm, and then I'll have 5.56 in there for my AR that we'll get into in a minute. And then I'll have other things such as a canteen for water, and then I have a med kit that stays in my truck. But if I have to, I can easily throw it in my truck, in my bag. And then I have what's it called?
You need to quit yawning. You're making me yawn.
Dude, I can't stop yawning. I don't know why. But yeah, no, that's the bag I run. I usually have tourniquet, and then I have my med kit, and then some ammo, flashlights. I need to get some glow sticks. I want to get some of those. Not
Chem
the
lights.
chem lights, yeah. Still building.
It's a glow stick.
Yeah, glow stick, but still building on it. And then I definitely want to get some sort of communication device that doesn't require cell towers. So like either
a radio of some
a radio or just because that's probably going to be one of the number one used communication devices if crap hit the fan, you couldn't use your cell phone or whatever.
Yeah.
And then of course keep a lighter or some sort of
fire starter.
Fire starter in there.
Yeah.
And then I'll carry a knife like in a holster. Where's it at? I don't know where it went. A lot of my crap is taken out of it right now because I was changing it. But I usually keep my skinning knife in there because one, I can use it for skinning animals, and then two, for self-defense or whatever have you.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing too, is not every situation requires you to use your firearm to get out of it. Especially in a shit hits fan situation, you're not going to just be dumping rounds every chance you have to.
Yeah.
Or that you feel the need to. You want to use other sources to defend yourself or provide food, whether kill an animal or something. And then going into my other emergency pack I have in the truck is a what's it called? Gosh darn it. Oh, my my Makita batteries, which they require power source to charge. But I have Makita light, and then that I keep in my truck, and then I have a raincoat for different situations that I usually keep in there, like a trench coat. Because if you have to build shelter or whatever, it's big enough that I can build like a little tent around me or whatever if I have to get out of the rain. And then I have the speaker, so I can listen to tunes if I get lonely out in the wilderness. But as far as my next gun that I carry that I have been building, you've seen it on the podcast before. This is my do it all, or what's the word that they call them now?
I don't know.
For like your general purpose rifle, I guess, or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyways, so if another thing that I have for shit's fan scenario is the AR just built. It's the 16-inch barrel with the BCM handguard. Just got the mag pull stock, and then I carry the dual point QD sling on it. Nothing crazy modified on it, except for I put the CMC flat face 1 stage 2.5 pound trigger, and then I just put a little fire filled rapid strike LPV on top, so that way no matter if I need to engage a target up close or gauge a target at distance, I got both those options because it's a 1-to-6 power zoom, and then I run the bipod up front for stability if I need to, because you never know. Basically, I try to build this rifle around if shit hits the fan, I can still use it, for close quarters. It is a little bit longer being the 16-inch, but I can run it for close quarter stuff, or if I have to engage someone or something at a distance, that's what I can run for that. Put a couple rounds through it. The farthest I've shot with it so far was at like 420, 415 at the gun range. And I'm liking the setup. Firefield rapid strike, it's a cheap scope. It does have the illuminated reticle inside of it, whether it's red, green, or black, which black's not illuminated, but the black is if your battery dies or EMP hits or whatever, you can't use your electronics, you still have a black reticle in there, which is what I like too about it, because that's something you think about for your emergency setups or shit's the fan thing is if the EMP was to hit, you need to make sure that you can use the majority of your gear without it having to run off a battery or some sort of electronic device. And I'm still building on to that one. I want to get a mod light for the front of it, weapon light.
Yeah.
I just haven't got around to ordering that either. What are you messing with?
Mine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, show us yours, Hunter.
Okay.
What is your rifle for shit's a fan?
So this rifle has not been on the podcast. So
That's the one you painted?
yeah, it's the one I painted. It's actually on our Instagram. So like that's kind of my little go
Teaser.
rig. Yeah, my little teaser go rig, whatever you want to call it. So I got a 12.5 inch. So I went shorter with it because in my mind I was thinking like, I probably won't be going farther than a 400-yard shot, right? So I was like, well, because I have other guns I can do better at farther distances. So I run.
Well, the way I thought of it is like shit's a fan. You got to pack up and go. You don't have time to like grab a whole lot of other stuff. You just grabbing handgun and a rifle.
Yeah. So I always have this in my bag with my AR-10, and then I always have four. I have 3 mags in my bag and 3 mags on my chest rig right now for my for this gun. So I don't know how many rounds is that? 180 rounds ready to go. People are like, oh my god, 180 rounds, right?
But go by really quick.
Yeah, it goes by quick, especially if you're actually using it. But basically, my thoughts like if I'm like in a situation where I'm worried about other stuff, I don't want to have to be loading up mags. So I have 3 ready to go straight off the gate on my chest rig. Then I have 3 backups in my bag. So I did a EOTech for a little bit closer stuff, and then through the mini Vortex. It's like the Micro 3X or Micro 3T, whatever it is, magnifier on it. Kind of just testing it out. I don't know how I feel about it just quite yet. Eye box is really small with it, but oh well, it's a magnifier. Hopefully I won't have to use it, basically. But I know how to use it at the same time. Then I run a Streamlight weapon light right here. I liked this model specifically from Streamlight because it comes with the pressure pad, so I didn't have to buy it separate. And then 12.5 inch barrel, and then I got a cherry bomb for my suppressor. So it's usually in my bag ready to go with the suppressor on it, so I won't have to mess with it at all. But and
one thing I'm ready to add to my shit's the fan rifle is my suppressor.
Yeah. And then this gun is filthy, so it's really gummed up right now, but it's okay. Then I have a CMC trigger on it. I just like CMC stuff. They're not super expensive, and they work. And then I don't know what sling you use, but I have the Vickers.
Right now it's the Magpul sling, but I'm wanting to get the
one that I have. The Blue Force Gear Vickers.
Yeah, Blue Force.
Yeah, so that's the one that I have. I took it off because I was at the range shooting off a bench, so I didn't really have a need for it. But it's ready to rock 90% of the time. Actually kind of glad I brought it out because I need to put it back on. So, and then, so whenever I go like on longer trips, I'll bring my gun bag and it has two slots in it. So I can carry 2 rifles with me. Yes, it does weigh double the weight, or double and a half. So the other gun in there is my Daniel Defense AR-10. Not really much to it yet. I just put a scope and a bipod on it. First thing I'm going to do though is change out the trigger because it's awful.
Mil spec.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's like 7. It feels like 7 pounds. It's a really heavy trigger, but I've gotten some pretty good groups out of it. I really need to start buying more 308 because I don't have enough of it. But 308 versus 5.56 prices, 5.56 is significantly cheaper. So
well, the good thing too about, or the main reason like I ran on mine, I put the 223 wild barrel in there.
Yeah.
That way it'll shoot 223 and 5.56 relatively within this same group.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, anyways, like Hunters, that one's 223 or 5.56.
This is 5.56.
5.56. But the point of us both running those, and most people who run those ARs for self-defense or shit's fan, is it's a very common round. Almost everyone who owns a rifle, like as far as ARs in the world,
That's probably what they have. Except for Ray. He doesn't believe in it. He's like 7.62 or die.
Yeah, well, Ray's also the guy who has a single shot AR-10, so
that's true.
But anyways,
we won't talk about that right now.
But the big thing to consider when you're building a shit's fan setup, or SHTF, which is a little harder to say for me, but is think about ammo availability and what does everyone else that could possibly be a threat to you in the world going to be running, because then you can get ammo off of them, or find ammo easier. So like that's why mine is 9mm and 223 or 5.56, is because those are relatively easy to find, especially in that situation. You know, it definitely would be easier to find that on something or somebody or somewhere, or
a store. If you need to go into a store or something like that,
you need to go to a store.
This is like worst case scenario too. Like this is So
this is like the world collapse, full anarchy, zombie apocalypse type scenario, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyways,
like some Last of Us type stuff.
Yeah. For those of you who've been watching the show and you're thinking about prepping now, here's the episode for you.
Where you put that M4 down because you can't find ammo for it. But I'm gonna think this bolt action can only carry 4 rounds at a time.
Yeah. There were some things in that show that was not accurate to the game. I mean, it's a TV show, but
yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's very entertaining, but it wasn't. I would have kept the ARs, because everybody they saw after that, they had ARs and they had ammo and they had mags and stuff. I'm like, dude.
Well, also something that they did in the show, which in the game this character would have never done, but anyways, in the show, if you have a fortress that you have built to protect yourself from outside threats, and then the threats finally come, don't stand in the middle of the street while 13 guys are shooting at you and try to shoot back at them.
Yeah, where they're trying to escape the big city.
No.
Oh, wait,
I'm talking about where they're trying to get into Bill's like neighborhood, and he's got it all fenced in.
Oh, yeah, that was so dumb. I was like, dude, you just open up that window because you're already on the second story, and oh my god, that.
But he's standing in the middle of the street, just one arm shooting with his handgun, and he's just freaking like screaming. He's like, "Get back!"
Taking like 4 shots at a time, but hands down to the other guy though for saving his life with next to nothing. So
I know Bill in the video game wouldn't have done something that stupid, but just thing is though, is of course it's a TV show, we understand, but yeah, no, if it's a situation like that, you have built a fence, security fence and everything, and then some threat finally does come, don't stand in the wide open area and try to defend your place, especially when you have literally a whole compound with a bunker full of firearms to protect yourself.
And then and then if you have multiple people, don't use a bolt action.
Yeah.
Use any of the other guns that are like the AKs that were sitting on the wall, or the M4s, or the AR-15s, whatever guns he had were way better options.
Yeah. Especially in his situation when he's outnumbered that much, you want to be accurate, but you're also wanting to just lay lead down range, because as long as they have round after round after round coming after them, they're not going to engage you as easy as they would.
Yeah. Exactly.
With you, bam, bam, when you're laying down rounds to protect your place.
Yeah.
It's a lot better scenario for you, or a lot better outcome.
And that's another video.
His fence was very cool though. I did like.
Oh yeah, all the fire and all the traps and stuff that he had set up.
How reliable and realistic that would be in real life, I don't know.
Minimal. Dude, you just walk around the pipes that are blowing flaming gas at you.
Yeah. Now I did like his trap that he had captured. Trying to think of his name, but
Frank?
His lover. Frank, yeah, that was pretty good. It was pretty well hidden, and
Yeah.
then he fell in it. But then again, how well that would work out in that situation, because if one or two guys fell in it, if more than one guy fell in it, they could probably easily get out
Yeah.
by boosting each other up. But definitely some things to think about. I have no plans right now to be building
A bunker.
anything like a bunker
No.
like that.
No,
But
I've got,
my
I've got,
main
I've got to live off what I got right now. So
my strategy too is, I feel like if a shit hits fan situation, I feel like staying stationary for like, if that's your plan to stay in that one spot the rest of your life while you're trying to survive, I in my opinion, is not the best idea, because you're eventually going to run out of resources, or whatever reason you have to leave. Not saying you should just be running all around if shit's fan, but be willing to leave and have a plan that if you have to leave, because if you do end up bunkering down at your house, yeah, that'll work. But once your supply runs out, or your fortress, if you want to call it, gets destroyed or something, whatever reason that you have to leave, have a plan on escaping and what you're going to do once you leave there.
yeah. Another thing too that I've recently started carrying, it kind of goes along the lines of like, if you lose electricity and stuff, maps and a compass.
Yeah.
So like there's so many different ways you can do it. Like you can get like the statewide maps, or you can get like those big books that have each individual city or county. But I just have two. I have Texas just cut in half. I have like West Texas and then East Texas. So, and I just carry a compass. Those like $30.
Well, as long as you have
something to know where you're going, basically.
Well, as long as you have a piece of paper and then flint and steel to make a compass, and then you put them together at the crafting table, you'll have a map that tells you where everything is.
Oh my God.
But no, yeah, definitely. And then also know your areas. So like, for instance, growing up hunting and everything, my dad taught me that if you find power lines, it'll eventually lead you to a public road or
something somewhere,
some sort of civilization. So say shit's fan, you somehow get lost in the woods, or just somewhere you're not familiar with. If you can find power lines, you'll eventually find a road of some sort.
Especially like those big like transmission lines, like on like the not like the telephone pole, but like the huge cage looking transmission lines. Those will find you civilization quick. Yeah, they're going somewhere, and they're going from something. So
just know how to navigate without using Google Maps or Apple Maps, because more than likely, if it went to an all-out chaos world, well, not more than likely, it definitely is going to happen. You're not going to have internet. You're not going to have cell service to Google, where's the nearest HEB to get food. Or
and no offense to like our generation, but we rely way too much on technology.
Oh yeah, for sure.
By far,
like
it's
majority
awful.
of our generation have no clue how to survive without it.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm also glad that I grew majority of my childhood without like a smartphone or anything, because like everyone else had smartphones
or
in
tablets,
like 5th or 6th grade or whatever, and I didn't have any of that until like, I think it was into 7th grade or 8th grade, and it was just a basic flip phone for contacting parents whenever I get home from football or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, no, definitely learn to live without technology. Because if you wait until a shit hits fan situation, it's going to be one hell of a cultural shock to you, or whatever they call it.
Yeah, it's where all like the overlanding stuff. So we had that episode a couple was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, 2 weeks ago that we had that, and all those guys, they're awesome builds, right? But they rely way too much on technology. Like they have like their iPads set up with the map of like the trail that they're going on.
Yeah, the big navigation and all that.
Yeah, which there's nothing wrong with it, but like if you rely too heavily on that, then you're not gonna know what to do once it's gone.
Well, like part of that, which I forgot to talk about when we were doing that, is the thing that I always saw like a lot of guys will carry a little satellite like GPS navigator. I
Yeah.
can't remember the exact name of
Garmin.
them, but
Is it one of the Garmins?
yeah, you can like download maps and
Yeah.
coordinates and everything on there. So if you don't have service for it or whatever, you literally can. Basically, it's Google Maps without internet in a way.
Yeah.
Those are that's definitely something I want to add to my like overland thing.
But also, if you know where you are, if somebody was
Yeah.
smart enough, they know where you are too.
Yeah, they would know that it'd be able to track you on that.
Yeah.
Um,
But
yeah, just different
that's
things.
like worst case scenario. That's like, Russia,
My best-
China, somebody invades us and we have nowhere to go. So
Yeah,
which would be
really the best thing when you're building a emergency, kit or whatever you want to call it, worst case scenario thing, is overthink everything, because if you didn't think of something, someone else did, and they're going to be more prepared than you are. I'm not saying like everyone's your enemy when that scenario happens, but there's a lot of people that
it's like,
well, a lot of people, more people than you think, when situations like that happen, become a lot more feral. So I mean,
yeah.
people who you used to think were your friend may not be so friendly when that happens. They're gonna.
You trying to tell me something?
Huh?
So you trying to tell me something?
No. Lock your doors at night, Hunter.
I already do. But it's like thinking of like it's better to need it and not have, or have it and not need it.
Need it, yeah.
Than need it and not have it. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get out there and that situation happens, and you didn't think to have a source of water, and then now you're stuck without water. You can't go to the store and buy it because it's already been raided and looted.
Yep.
And you're screwed. Or
Yeah.
not having bandages because you never got a owie or an ouchie during your normal life, and then now that this situation's happened, you didn't have any stock on band-aids or bandages or whatever emergency kit needed.
Even like Neosporin could save your life,
Mm-hmm. Save you from an infection.
Yeah, save you from an infection.
Peroxide.
Peroxide, water treatment stuff. So like iodide tablets, water filters. I don't know, anything else that gets rid of bacteria, viruses, everything like that from water.
So how do you feel about those? I can't remember what they're called. Ray has one. Those straws that's supposed to like filter the water as you drink it.
Oh, the life straw. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah. I that wouldn't be my first,
thing. Yeah, like a last resort.
Yeah, it's like, like if there was like a little creek that was running through or something, and it wasn't, there wasn't enough water flowing to like get a lot of water at once, then yeah, I would use it. It's like a situational thing.
Yeah,
and they're proven to work because they take them over to Africa all the time. So
yeah, I've
for,
seen that
for like a lot
I've
of those impoverished countries and stuff. So, but keeping a couple of those, and then I think a decent food supply of some sort, canned food, stuff that it sounds really shitty. Preservatives like jerky or dried food and vegetables, stuff like that. Like those freezer dried meals and stuff. Like those are MREs, stuff like that. But once you run out, what are you going to do at that point? So like think about seeds and stuff so you can grow food. You can
learn how to hunt, and clean an animal and
fish and all that. Yeah. But I also always do carry a ultralight fishing rod in my truck. It's just it's in the bed all the time, so it's probably filthy, but I don't know. It's just something just in case you need it. So
yeah, I in that kind of situation, I just carry a toaster oven because I don't have the patience to fish, especially in that. I just find a power source, generator, or whatever.
Yeah.
Whenever
we fished here, we're like, oh, didn't catch anything first 3 casts. Let's start messing with everybody. I was like, leave me alone.
I have the patience to hunt. I don't have the patience to fish. I just
also where we went fishing wasn't. When I went there when I was younger, it was a hot spot. I'm surprised. I'm surprised there was any water.
I think it's overfished.
It probably
on
is
anything.
now. Yeah, it probably is
'Cause, I
now.
mean, every day you can drive by and there's someone down there just
Trying to catch something.
yeah, and then they put that walking trail and everything down there. So I think there's just like so much activity in there.
Yeah. And
The
then
fish probably.
and then all the concrete, get your shit stuck. Cody.
Yeah. What if
Anyways,
you're like me, the tree that's 14 foot above you?
yeah. Somehow, never
Yeah.
understand it, but basically, you need to be with surviving. You need to be adaptable. I feel like because like you don't know what's gonna happen. Like you never know. It could snow in July and the shit hits the fan situation. You don't know. So you
Yeah.
need, proper clothing, sunscreen.
Basically, different ways to protect your body
Yeah.
in harsh conditions.
Yeah.
So for instance, we live in Texas. We don't have a whole lot of like snow gear or rain gear and all that. But
I have rain gear.
for that,
I don't have snow
well,
gear.
like I have rain gear, but basically for those situations, it doesn't hurt to have all seasonal gear because you never know. You may live in Texas, but shit's fan. You may end up a little farther up north, or there's no telling in that make believe situation how the weather might turn out. If it turned into some full weather apocalyptic world, we could have a nuclear winter here or whatever.
Yeah. And then I think that this goes mostly to the city folks, people in like the heavy populated areas.
You hear how he had to put that southern twang on his voice when he said
Twang, talking about you motherfuckers that live up in Dallas.
It's shitty liquors, Yankees.
You know that 5 o'clock fucking traffic? Yeah, it's gonna get worse.
Oh yeah, for sure. Do not rely on interstates and public roads.
No.
Like highways. If emergency hits the fan, know your ways around it. Know your back roads. Or have a vehicle capable of going off road.
Or know how to get out of a city if you have to walk.
Yeah.
Basically, don't stay in the city because that's gonna be unless you're absolutely stuck there.
One, it's gonna be super overpopulated. Two, it's a big target.
Yep.
For looters and everything. I mean, you got to think about this is if you think about taking the interstate to get out of your city, think about how many other people are thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
And then you're going to get caught up in all that.
Like
think about going to Walmart to quickly grab some supplies.
Good luck.
You aren't the only one in the world thinking that you're going to meet, that's where you're going to meet probably some of the worst people you'll meet in that situation.
Yeah. And then
because everybody's going to go crazy.
And then another thing too, if you're on some sort of prescription medicine too, like high blood pressure medicine, any of that kind of shit, you might want to get an extra.
Suck it up.
Yeah, you can suck it up, but
learn to have better blood pressure. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, there's a lot of stuff if you're a little bit overweight, then you're gonna lose weight, so you may not need it, but.
Well, like insulin and stuff, if you have diabetes, all that kind of stuff, just have a good stock of it to where if you needed to go a few weeks without resupplying or whatever, you can survive. Because the worst thing to do is you're prepared for everything in the world and then you run out of medications. What does you in?
Yep. And then I think that's gonna lead on to a good med kit too. So like first aid, and then what you need if you're gonna go with a group of people. You need a med kit for yourself, and everyone with you needs a med kit for themselves. And the only reason why you give anything to one of your buddies that got shot, got his leg broken or something, is if he absolutely needs it.
Yeah, don't just go around handing out bandages and band-aids and splints and bandages, whatever. You got to think, you're with 4 or 5 people, shit's fan, you're the only one with the med kit. A few of them get boo-boos on the way. And then you start handing out your supply. There goes your supply.
And it goes quick. It's going to go quick. So,
and that's another thing, too, though, is you got to learn is what's worth wasting med supplies on. If you get a little cut on your arm, little flesh wound, nothing crazy, don't go wasting a bandage on it.
It also depends where you are, too. If you're in the city, you might want to.
Yeah, a lot.
But
A lot.
if you're like in like the woods and you get scraped up by vines and thorns and shit, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Just pour some water on it. Put like a like a t-shirt over it if you really want to cover it. So.
Well, there's other things too. Like he was saying, like you can use t-shirt or whatever cloth for bandage. It may not be the most clean use, but
it's
in that situation, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
But same thing. Like I only have one tourniquet at the moment, but there's other things you can use as tourniquets. You know, your belt or just any device that will tighten down and restrict blood flow to keep you from losing blood loss.
Yeah. And then to get proper training on how to use it correctly, that's also important. I know
I need to do some training with mine. Go get a training course.
So the American Red Cross does like simple first aid stuff. So they do like the CPR training, and then they do what do they call it? It's like it's like grade 1 injuries and stuff like that. So like if somebody got like a gash on their leg, like in this situation, you still have access to your phone. So you tell somebody to call 911. You cinch, like for example, we had the example on like their leg, and they hit one like the femoral artery down there. You bring that belt, you bring the tourniquet all the way up to the top of like their limb, and you cinch it all the way down. Then you stick your hand over it, apply a fuck ton of pressure, put gauze in it, all sorts of shit until bleeding kind of stops. It was actually very not
informal.
It was very informative. Yeah, I almost said entertaining.
Yeah,
but it was very.
It can be entertaining at the same time.
The stuff. So we I'm in construction, so everyone drinks energy drinks, right? Well, we had like 12 people in this class for first aid for CPR stuff. He's like, the instructor's like, I'm very impressed by everybody in this classroom. Nobody's drinking an energy drink, but I texted my intern like 2 minutes before, hey, can you go get us like 12 monsters? And then we had like a break, and I walk in with 2 sacks full of monsters and start handing them out to people that need them. And I was like, yeah, sorry. But that's another thing too. So if you're into like, the bodybuilding stuff and the, I don't know, all the athletic stuff now, because all I ever see on Instagram is supplements anymore. Get the fuck off that shit. Just eat real food.
I mean, some of the supplements,
or like creatine,
are good.
Like creatine and stuff. Like that's good. But like, like the pre-workout and stuff.
Yeah.
Like some people can't do anything without that or any sort of caffeine.
They can't function without it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
just snort coke.
Huh? Snort coke. Yeah, if you can find it. And the shit is a fan situation.
But no. Don't be reliant on energy drinks. 5-hour energy, like just basically energy boosters.
Because your body's gonna be used to it, and you're gonna be craving it all the time. And same thing with like nicotine too. So good luck.
Well, I can survive without it if that hits fan, or I could find some. That's probably gonna be one of the last things that's getting raided out of gas stations.
I don't know, dude.
Or I just find a big old tobacco farm, and you
just be chewing the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Ding. In the split scene. But
yeah, no. That's. I'm glad you brought up the fitness thing though. This is my biggest pet peeve in the world. Is not enough people are physically fit enough to handle themselves in an emergency situation. And I mean, I'm not, by all means, I am not some chiseled Greek goddess.
I'm really out of shape right now. So
yeah, but be in a physical condition of your body. Be in shape enough that you can save yourself in a situation. You
can run away.
You gotta, you say someone's coming at you. You gotta run. You're freaking
yards.
Hard out.
You gotta run 100 yards.
Be able to do that. If you gotta pull yourself up from something, be able to do that. If you gotta break through a door, hold a door back, hold a door shut, whatever. You got to carry your loved one, you know, whatever. Be physically fit enough to do that. That's the thing that is, without being mean and going on a rant, that is my biggest problem with the world today is there's not enough people physically fit enough to take care of themselves. Because if you can't take care of yourself in an emergency situation, what makes you think you're going to be able to take care of someone else?
Yeah, your family.
Yeah, your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, your child is, you say emergency situation hits fan, you all load up the vehicle, you take off. Some other guy who's crazed out of his mind doesn't know what to do. He's panicking. He hits you. Car rolls over or whatever. Your kid injures himself and you got to take them out and carry them for X amount of miles until you can get somewhere to safely treat them or get treated. You know, be physically fit enough to where you know you can at least do that, because if you can't even save yourself, then you know you're going to be one of the lucky ones that gets knocked out first. But too many people nowadays are too comfortable with the world. One, they think that we live in a totally safe world, you know.
Yeah.
And three, they think that because of that safety that they don't have to be able to take care of their own body or their you know, physically take care of themselves.
Yep.
Because when shit's a fan and you're stuck in a house that's on fire and you got to, you know, book your way out of there, or, you know, whatever situation that you got to get out of by using your physical body, you're not going to be able to call a first responder to come help get you out.
Yep.
Because you call that number and it's either going to go, doo-doo-doo, this line has been disconnected, or it won't ring at all because cell tower's out, or if they even do answer, which definitely not, because their phones are going to be ringing off the hook in that situation, you're not going to have an officer coming to your door to help you.
And it sucks to say, but it's the reality.
Yeah, I mean,
like, and this is like worst case scenario too.
Yeah, like, full breakout.
So like the way that I think is, like, you know, if, you know, we lose electricity like nationwide,
power grids go out,
everything goes out for 5 years or whatever, then we, like, what are you gonna do? Like, everything in this world that we do has something to do with electricity.
Yeah,
like the internet, dude. I know a lot of people that couldn't live without their phone. Yeah. Like social media, Instagram, all that shit. Even though we're posting this on YouTube, but
yeah,
it's different, I feel like.
Well, the thing is, though, is situation happens, whatever, that the world is going to an end. If you're waiting until then to finally Google how to survive on my own, it's way too late.
Yep.
There is gonna be no Google that says, "Hey Google, how do I kill an animal and clean it and harvest it and eat it to, you know, provide nutrition to myself."
Yeah. Or how do I kill that animal?
Yeah.
So
these are just simple things to learn. I'm not saying, you know, not everyone likes to hunt or fish or whatever. Not saying you have to take up hunting and fishing, but it is something that you need to at least know the fundamentals and basics of for these situations. Because if you get out there, you run out of food, and you don't know how to simply kill a cow or a deer or
cook something.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you have Favor, you have all these other
fast food restaurants.
Yeah, fast food restaurants.
Uber Eats, all that.
Just restaurants in general. Because, like, you know, you're not cooking it. You just say, "Oh, this looks good. I want this." So,
just know the basics of cooking.
Yep.
Know what temperature you need to at least cook the meat to in order to safely eat it.
Yeah. And in most situations, like, if you're in a dire, you know, like, I got to eat now or I'm going to pass out and not wake up kind of a thing, then it's probably better to overcook it. It may not taste the greatest, but just overcook that bitch. Who cares?
Yeah.
So
it's better to overcook chicken than undercook it.
Obviously. But that's
what I'm saying.
No, I know. But, like, same with, like, pork and beef.
Yeah.
Like,
beef you can get away with a little bit on undercooking it.
Yeah. It has more leniency, but, like, deer too. Because you don't know what the deer's been around. You know? Like, it can just go many different directions. But
yeah.
And it's 165 degrees, so if you don't want to Google it, that's the safe eating temperature.
Well, on chicken, I think it's 145.
165. Trust me.
Is it 165?
Yeah, it is 165.
Maybe I'm thinking 45 degrees is holding temperature in
Uh,
a
uh,
cooler.
a
You
hundred,
can't go.
145 is like a medium rare pork. But I don't eat medium rare pork. I think it's kind of silly. I know people say it's safer to eat now like that, but
Mm-hmm.
165. The only thing that I
Yeah,
don't cook or I don't eat that's at 165 is like beef. So,
yeah. Beef is the only one that I play around with on
because
how long I cooked it.
I love a medium rare steak. So,
See, I
yeah.
like medium, just straight medium. Well, it depends on where I'm getting it at. Because if I'm going to Texas Roadhouse, for instance, I'll get it medium. But if I'm going to like George's or something, I
Yeah.
get it medium well because I've gotten a medium at like just big chain restaurants that really don't
Yeah,
specialize in cooking
you
steaks.
don't like that deep pink color in the middle. You like it lightly
No,
pink.
no, I like a good amount of pink, uh, but I like a good amount of pink. I just don't like it to where it's so pink that you literally can just see like blood running on your hands.
It's not blood though.
Well, I know, but that
Yeah, it's your thought. So,
yeah, it's
well,
just weird.
so we talked a little bit about like survivability and stuff, like
Hmm.
like what to do in these like certain situations. What should we talk about for like like protecting yourself besides guns? Like if you can do a gunfight, how are you going to protect yourself? Like chest rig versus plate carrier.
Oh, oh, are you looking at the
Yeah,
the notes?
yeah.
That's I have mine right in front of me.
No, mine was right
But yeah,
here,
no,
so
chest
I
rig
don't have
versus
room like
plate
this.
carrier. I don't have a plate carrier yet. I do have an intentions of buying one, but right now I have a ready rig or chest rig. It's small, compactable. I can store it under my seat and everything. I think that would be more of what I would use in a shits fan situation.
For
Chest rigs,
90% of
huh?
what we do, like if it,
Yeah,
so the way I think about it, plate carriers are for like if you're in the woods, because number one, chest rigs.
chest rigs.
Chest rigs are for when you're in the woods because when you have a plate carrier, you have the weight of the plates and
The
that's
bulkiness
yeah, and the
of
bulkiness.
everything on it.
But if you have a chest rig, you can kind of slim down a lot.
Yeah,
So
you want to be really mobile in a shits fan situation. It's not going to be like the movies where you can walk around in a juggernaut suit and
yeah,
do whatever you want. I mean, yeah, you'll probably get a decent distance with it. If you for some reason do have like full set of armor and everything, plates and all that. But you got to think longevity. How is it going to be wearing that every day for survival? Walking around in it if you have to walk, hundreds of miles,
yeah,
whatever, all that weight. Um, that and it's less expensive to buy for something that you're just going to throw in the closet or storage and just hope you have to use it one day. Um, because plates good. What is it? Level 3, level
four,
4,
level
level
four.
4. Good level 4 plates. You're looking at roughly like $500-$600 a piece,
And you get the
if not
front
more.
and back. So, and
Yeah.
that's like a
But
good starting. That's good for starting. Like,
yeah.
like obviously you can get cheaper plates, but
Mhm.
so where the price starts going up is like the thickness in the coating. So
Mhm.
like I know AR 500 they have plates,
And the material.
yeah, and the material, but AR 500 they make shooting targets, and they use the same steel for their body armor, but they put it like that rubber coating.
So what's the big debate? Because I haven't really got into like
Steel versus
body
ceramic,
armor.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
because a lot of like guys make fun of steel plate carrier guys.
steel, it's because of the coating around the plate. So it's almost like a rubber material.
Hmm.
But so steel's going to stop the bullet, right? But where's
Hmm.
the bullet? So the bullet still has mass. Where's the mass going to go? It's going to
Hmm.
rip through that layer, right?
Hmm.
And if you get shot enough times, eventually it's going to shoot upwards into here, and you can't.
Ricochet off. Yeah.
No, it's not going to. It's they call it spall.
Mhm.
It's like the fragments of the rounds because because if you get shot by like a rifle round or yeah, like we've shot steel, right? You hear how hard it hits and you see all the dust hit below the target. You just hear everything. Well, that round doesn't just go down; it goes in every direction.
Yeah, fragments.
Yeah, so that's it's not really a joke because it's a serious matter, but that's kind of the negatives about steel because it can go straight up through your chin, neck area,
Mm.
and then you're kind of out of the fight there. But ceramic plates they break, so like once it gets shot enough times, it'll start cracking. It's like a ceramic tile,
Mhm.
Like if you drop it, it shatters.
Yeah, yeah.
It obviously
And they're a lot lighter weight too, aren't
they
they?
are a lot lighter weight. Yeah, like I think the ones that I'm looking at, they're like 6 pounds per side, which isn't heavy at all. Those Hershko plates.
Yeah, 6 pounds on your chest,
But
plate carrier.
you have so it's 12. You have 6 in the front, 6 in the back, 6 in the front, 6 in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have 12
And
pounds
then on
on
the
you.
sides if you decide to run side plates.
Yeah, which I don't know if I would ever do that personally.
Yeah, because majority of your side plates really aren't that crazy big.
It covers like 3 inches
The
of your
vitals.
yeah. It basically covers the bottom part of your lung. That's all it really covers.
Well, the whole point of plate carriers too is make sure if you are going to run a plate carrier is make sure you get a size that fits you properly.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of the plate carrier is to protect your vitals
Yep.
from a gunshot. And if you're running too small of a plate carrier, which I mean, I would think it'd be better to go too big than too small because you're running too small, and
Yeah,
then you end up it's not.
Too small, you give too much area, but too big, it may just fit awkwardly. I feel like
Yeah.
I don't have experience with many, so I experienced with the T-Rex arms chest rig, and I think they only come in one size, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember.
Yeah, so they come in one size, but they have different plate options.
yeah,
So whether
yeah.
you're running small, you need small, medium, or large plates.
Yeah,
Is what it is.
which just get somebody like it's like going to a tailor or something, where you get like your suit size or your jacket size checked. It's the same thing. You just measure your shoulder, like the ball of your shoulders. Just measure that. Just figure out how wide your chest is.
Yeah. Say, hey,
I
can you measure my vitals area?
and most of the time it's going to be about 12 inches or so from your left rib cage to your right rib cage, like what is that diameter? So, but in most situations, like I only have a chest rig too, so I don't have the experience with different plate carriers or anything like that. But which chest rig do you have? You have the T-Rex arms ready rig, don't you?
The T-Rex arms ready rig,
Okay.
which is my first rig experience or chest rig I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, I really like it. It fits me.
Yeah.
It definitely, I would say, which for me it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me. But a friend of mine that is bigger built, he says he feels like it doesn't fit him as well. So I would definitely say that the ready rig, that T-Rex arms kind of caters more to the
slimmer people,
or physically fit people, or like slimmer. Yeah,
more. So I tried it on. It was a little tight on me. So
yeah,
and I'm not huge, but like I'm not really fit at the moment. So I had to go get bigger jeans for work.
Really?
Yeah.
I had to buy longer underwear the other day.
I don't know why, but also with the chest rig though, you also have to think about what you're trying to do with it. So like if you're, if you have like a little base camp established and like that's where you're gonna stay for a while, you just want to like do your patrols every once in a while or carry a gun with you or more ammo. Because like if you're just walking around the woods to try and shoot something, then there's not really a point in carrying a chest rig with you. Just carry a couple extra rounds in your pocket.
Yeah.
But if you're going, somewhere where you think there might be somebody deadly and you just want to carry some extra rounds just in case you get into a shootout or something,
Well, like the ready rig that I have that I keep in my truck now, it has just a tourniquet on it, a Sharpie, uh, 3 AR mags, and then it has my spare CZ mag, which I need to get some more CZ mags.
Yeah.
And then I've got some Panduit straps, which are basically big zip ties that we use at work. I
Yeah.
can use those for tourniquets, or I can use them for handcuffs, restraints. I could use them for many different things.
Oh, they're
And
really
then,
good at restraining. You remember when you buckled my ankle against my bag?
yeah, I got to test it out a little bit. Uh,
It took
Hunter,
me
Hunter,
probably about 7 minutes to get it off.
well, Hunter is really into like BDSM stuff, so
Oh my god, shut the
he
fuck
wanted me
up.
to.
But
But no, and then also, so like the reason I carry a Sharpie on my ready rig is for bites or infections or wounds. So, for instance, you're out in the wilderness, you get bit by a snake or stung by something, circle the initial surrounding area. So, usually, when you get bit or stung something, you'll see an area that has
it starts
started to
swelling.
swell,
Yeah.
or it'll have redness around it, depending on like how easy you can see redness on your skin complexion. But the main thing is like swelling and stuff. You want to circle it with the Sharpie, and that way, as you're treating it or whatever, or trying to find treatment, you can document how it's growing. So if it begins to continue to swell, then you can make another circle and write down the time or whatever.
Yeah.
Saying that way like, okay, this thing, it's been an hour and this bite, sting, wound or whatever has grown 3 times its size in an hour or whatever. So like that
It's starting to probably priority at that point.
Yeah.
So
now and then you circle it and you notice it freaking grows, a lot smaller than the initial circle. Then okay, it's going down, the swelling's going down or whatever. At least that was just an old trick that I saw on one of the. So I was watching some kind of EDC video, and a military veteran, I think it was, or someone, they had a Sharpie in their pocket.
yeah.
He said, "I never leave the house without this Sharpie," because he's outdoors in the wilderness a lot,
Yeah.
doing training and stuff. And he said, "You never know when you need it." So I thought that just always stuck with me. So I try to carry a Sharpie everywhere I go.
Yeah.
Um,
And so I got my chest rig just sitting right here, so I'll just show it if you think I should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
So
show it up so everybody, so people who don't know what a chest rig is.
yeah, so chest rig is literally just this is the Faro Concepts. It's just their chesty rig. They have a wider version, so there's bigger flaps on the side right here, so you can stick like comms or something, like a radio or radio pouch or an extra side for like a tourniquet. But on mine, I just have a 3 mag holder for my AR stuff. Then I have 2 extra pistol mags right here. Then I have like a little zip up pocket, and it's got I really just carry tools in it right now. Tools, and I have like a little notepad with a pen. And then on the side, I got a little, the Sharpie thing. Haven't used it. It's a fresh Sharpie. So, and
I
then
realized I just had these are those
Heck yeah.
gloves I bought, the shooting gloves.
oh yeah, and then I carry a pair of gloves on me too. So
Yeah.
I don't like shooting with gloves. I don't know why. It's just a personal thing. I feel like I'm just constricted with my hands.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way, but I have the gloves on there because of whatever reason. Say it's you pouring down rain, you got soaked, or
Yeah.
My main thing is in a shit fan situation. It's kind of morbid, but for whatever reason, emergency thing happens, and you end up getting someone else's bodily fluids, such as blood, on your hands, or whatever. And say you get shot and you're bleeding, your hands are all slippery. If you have gloves on, it gives you a little more texture, a little more grip to avoid.
So I'm trying to put together like a shopping list for like a first aid kit kind of thing, like something that can fit in like a backpack about the size of this binoculars case. It's kind of what I'm thinking, and so I'm not gonna do like a pair of cloth gloves. I'm gonna do like 3 or 4 pairs of like the nitrile gloves, like those black like mechanic gloves. Yeah, like the rubber gloves. So you can just throw them away. because like the cloth, the blood can seep through the cloth and stuff, and if your blood type doesn't match their blood type and your hands are all scraped up, it's not going to be a fun time. So,
for my honorable mention, I wasn't going to show this, but anyways, so in case I'm in a situation that hits the fan and I can't get home to grab my rifle because my general purpose rifle doesn't stay in the vehicle. It's a little bit longer, doesn't take up as much room.
Especially right now, in this day and age, you don't.
It's just
sad
no
times
need for it. But I do have one truck gun that usually stays readily available, and right now it's out because I've been doing some modifications to it. But this is the my close quarter build, I guess, with the light on it. Comes with the pad, and then I went with like a mount that allows you to kind of mount it at a 45-degree angle so it doesn't stick out as much. So if you're clearing through the house, you don't have it sticking out so far out the side that it catches on things or whatever. And then got the pad up front, and then EOTech or whatever. As far as survivalness, there was no reason to really paint it this color. I just painted it because I wanted to go for that like desert storm.
It looks a lot more white than it does tan, though.
Well, like on camera, it definitely looks white. If you look at it in person, it's got a more lighter FDE gray look to it.
Mm-hmm.
But
like
where we used to hunt a lot, it was a lot more sandy area, so this would blend in a lot better.
Yeah. So with mine, it's just a cheap can spray paint. I know you did the same thing, right?
Yeah. The Rust-Oleum or whatever.
Which people are probably gonna think, oh, why don't you just go get Cerakoted? I don't want to waste money on a paint job for a tool, like a heavy use tool. If that makes sense.
If it was a bolt gun, I would get it Cerakoted. But as far as ARs, and I've talked about this before, ARs, in my opinion,
it's like the hammer of your toolbox.
Yeah, like they need to be mint. They were built. The whole reason that the military even started to use them is they are a weapon that can take a beating and function still, as needed.
Which is why I run I run the EOTech instead of something cheaper, because
the EOTechs are proven
they're proven to, except for their little issues they had I don't know about 10 years ago, but that's a different story. They were having zero issues with hot and cold weather, like it would change your point of impact. But they fixed that since then. That's been a couple years, but I did mine. It has way more tan than green, but I also added green to mine, and then a little bit of a darker kind of like a brown kind of color. So, and then in my go bag from like the last video, I also carry a 300 blackout upper with it, just in case if you're trying to be sneaky, and you don't want to be heard, then you just throw some subs in it. So, which I do carry. I don't carry subs with me because I don't want to lose them if somebody steals my bag, if that makes sense. Because those are expensive, but that's kind of what I just mostly carry. And then if I need to reach out, and then the 308 is also in my bag. You can drop a deer with it. You can drop a lot of animals with it if you need to survive. So
but as far as, which we'll go more into it when we do our EDC episode, but as far as shit hits the fan stuff, that's the majority of our gear that we use
regularly. So
regularly. But I got an appointment to go to, so I'm have to end it right there. But definitely. As I said before, what we use and what we say isn't.
It's our personal
professional opinion. This is just what we run. If you see anything wrong that we do or that we're using, feel free to leave us comments. As we said before, we're learning. We're still learning. Just figuring things out as they go. But anything else you'd like to add, Hunter?
Nope.
Well, until next time, stay safe.
Stay active.
And enjoy the outdoors.